Hey photographers, my name's Janice. I am a yoga instructor from Ontario, Canada, and I love doing videos for people who have specific requests, whether it's for family, friends, viewers. And I have a lovely friend named Meghan of Mirror Form Photography. She does weddings, and she was like, could you please do a yoga specifically for us? We use our hands, we're holding gear all the time, one-handed. You've got a big lens, big camera, big flash. You've got gear strapped to you. And I said, absolutely. So we work together. Her information is in the description below if you're interested in checking her out. And we have created not only a really wonderful flow for you guys to tend to your hands, shoulders and hips and back and arms, but we're making this into a series. So for all the little editing breaks that you need, for calming your nerves before you have to deal with the people who are stressed and wanting to do things and you're hurting them like cats, I've got you covered. Meghan's got you covered. Today is a lovely flow to tend to the body. So this is something that you do away from the photography just to put into yourself. Find some relief in your arms, your back, your body. It's going to feel really good. And my video editing might not be as beautiful as yours, but that's okay. I'm here for the yoga, so hop into something comfortable. It doesn't matter if you have a yoga mat. You can do this standing and on the floor. I'll guide you through it every step of the way. I recommend maybe grabbing a blanket, especially if you don't have a mat, just to protect your knees, because you already put enough toll on your body. So let's treat ourselves kindly. So just grab a blanket or a towel that you can just put under your knees. And when you're ready, I will meet you on the mat. Okay, we are going to start with our posture today. So we're going to start by pressing all four corners of our feet into the earth. And by that, I mean the ball joint of your big and little toe, and then both sides of your heel. So find those connections, all four of them, on each foot. Your feet can be about hip width apart. And then press those points really intentionally into the ground. So really connect. And when you've got that, we're going to lift up from the arches of our foot. So if you feel like you're not going anywhere, don't worry. What you're feeling is the engagement in your inner thigh. So you'll lift up, inner thigh engages. Your kneecaps might feel as though they're lifting as well. So make any adjustments you need to. Press into all four corners, lift up from the arch, and hopefully you're feeling quite stable and quite steady. So if somebody were to come and push you, you're not going very far. Just finding kind of this really stable foundation. So take a moment, explore this. You might stretch out your toes, rock back and forth here. It should feel really good, so you should feel nice and stable in the lower body. For your upper body, you're going to find your pelvic floor, so those muscles that you would use to stop peeing, and you're going to lift them up, engage them. Draw your navel in and up. So imagine putting on skinny jeans or, some tight pants of some kind, and do that little lift in and up. Your heart's going to lift, and then your shoulders are going to be nice and heavy. So let your shoulders come away from your ears, and imagine just opening your chest slightly so your shoulder blades come together behind you. Should feel nice and stable all the way up. You should feel kind of hugging to the center channel. Should feel nice. So we're going to keep this posture, keep playing with it, keep exploring. If you end up softening, don't worry. We don't want to hold tension here. We just want to find that support that's kind of effortless, right? Making our job a whole lot easier with all the gear we're already carrying. So finding that stacked support is going to really help when you've got gear strapped on, you've got cameras, attached to your holsters, and you're just kind of like, oh, I want to collapse. If you find that nice stable support, start that lift up all the way from your feet. You're going to find that you're way less tired, okay? Your energy's not going to be pulled down. You're going to have a little bit lift up. Should feel really good. Alrighty, we're going to take our hands up into thriller-like hands. So hands are down, and our fingers can twinkle down towards the earth as well. plug your shoulders in. So none of this reaching forward like we're so typical of doing, and that's okay. But we're gonna plug our shoulders into the joint, and we're gonna take our left thumb to the middle of our right palm. Now I'm not actually pulling with my left hand. Reach your right hand forward. You should feel a nice stretch across the top of your right forearm. So if you feel strain or pain, come on back. That's not serving us in any way. Reach it forward. Find this opposition between hugging your shoulder in and reaching forward through your wrists. So it should feel a nice gentle stretch. Keep breathing. See if you can find some softness. So it's a whole body thing here. We're keeping our posture, exploring this forearm, finding what feels really good there. And take your time. You should start to feel tension drift. Things start to soften, start to feel a little bit of relief. And then when you're ready, we're going to flip our right hand up. Same idea. Fingers of our left hand come to the front of our right fingers. And I'm going to keep my shoulder plugged in, reach through that right heel of my hand. So my left arm is just doing a little bit of counter traction. Breathe here. And then we'll take it to the other side. So release, you might rotate that hand. We're going to plug our left shoulder all the way in. Right thumb is going to come to the middle of our left palm and reach it through the left wrist. So finding that opposition again. Seeing if we can maintain this posture. And if you feel like you're working at it a lot right now, if you're like, oh my God, my posture and my arm, don't worry. You're doing awesome. It takes a little bit of practice, but as you start to practice this posture, and you can do it while you're doing dishes, you can do it while you're walking around the house or at the grocery store, the more you practice it, the easier and the more second nature it becomes. So you'll just kind of effortlessly be like, oh, I'm collapsing today. All right, let's stand up a little taller, and it gets easier. A little bit of muscle memory here. We'll take it the other way. So flip that left hand up. Right fingers come across the left fingers, reach through that left heel of your hand. Nice big full breath in. Any tension, let it go. Alrighty, we'll release the hand. We're going to warm up our shoulders and our pelvis, our hips, just so that we're nice and warm. And then we're going to come back onto the floor. So stay with me. It's going to get so good for the hands because I know you guys are constantly carrying gear, one-handed, little fine motor adjustments. So we're going to make it really, really good for your body. Alrighty, so shoulders, we're going to inhale, hug them all the way up. Exhale, reach all the way down. Hands reach down as well. Inhale all the way up. Exhale all the way down. This time we're going to inhale all the way up. Bring your shoulder blades together. Hug them together. Chest is going to open. Might feel weird. We tend to never do this in our daily routine. So from here, we're going to exhale, reach it all the way down. Keep the shoulder blades squeezing together. And then inhale, come all the way up. This time we're going to bring it all the way forward. So hug those shoulders together in front of you. Exhale, reach it down. This time, inhale, reach it up. Keep them hugging forward. We're going to draw them all the way back, reach them all the way down, slide them all the way forward. So we're going to draw this nice little box. Inhale to come up. Bring it all the way back and exhale, reach it all the way down. Come forward, find this box. When you've done a couple of rotations, we'll flip it and we'll go the other direction. So finding kind of this shoulder mobility, the range of motion of our shoulders, creating a little more space here. And if it feels different in each shoulder, well, chances are you're carrying more gear, and that's totally cool because you're doing your job. So just notice it, don't judge it. All right, we're gonna come back to center. From here, bring your hands to your pelvis, so your hips. And your pelvis is a nice bowl, so a lot of us will collapse. Kind of into that bowl, we start to come forward. That's why we're practicing this nice alignment through our entire body. And imagine that your pelvis is a bowl of water, so we're going to dump it forward. So long in the tummy, tailbone might come out, lower back is lifting up. And then we're going to inhale, come back to center. Exhale, take it forward. See if you can keep this upper body staying here, none of this. Inhale to come up. Exhale, forward. So really squeeze to come up. Use your abdominal muscles, use your pelvic floor muscles. And then exhale, jump it forward. So finding just a little bit of motion here. We're going to inhale, come back to center. To actually do one more. Should feel really good. Oop. See, even I start to tip. So see if you can maintain this upper body. And then we're going to dump that bowl of water backwards. So tucking our tailbone underneath, or at least letting it be nice and long and heavy. Chances are it's going to kind of turn underneath our butt. So exhale, dump it back. You should feel length in the lower back, compression in the front of your pelvis. Inhale back to center. Exhale, dump it back. So follow your breath. Exhale to dump it. Inhale, come back up. Do your last one, your best one. And then we'll come back to center. We are going to come down onto the floor. If you don't have a mat, and even if you do, you might appreciate having a blanket underneath your knees. I know you're always kind of crawling around getting, that great shot. And it's a lot nicer to take the opportunity to be kind to ourselves when we can. So I know you don't always get these nice little perks, but today, treat yourself right. We're going to come into tabletop position. So we're going to stack our hands underneath our shoulders and our hips over top of our knees. So index fingers are going to point forward. We're going to find this nice hollow body underneath our tummy. So what I mean by that is we're going to hug the front body up towards the back body. Your heart's going to come up between your shoulder blades. And imagine this nice long line kind of from the crown of your head right through your tailbone. You're going to reach the crown of your head forward, reach your tailbone back. So finding a little soft tension. And from here, rotate your elbow creases in and forward. Inhale, draw a line with your nose, look forward, let your tummy lower. So this is cow pose. We're going to exhale. Turn our tailbone towards the earth, round through for cat. So inhale, come into cow. Exhale, round through for cat. This is just a spinal warm-up here. Should feel really good. Press away from your mat if you can. All 10 fingers connecting to the earth. We'll even it out. So finish up with cat here. Point the crown of your head, point your tailbone. We're going to inhale back to center. Come up off your wrist if you need a break. I know your hands take a huge toll, so we're going to come back into tabletop, but we're going to turn our hands out to the side. So shoulders are still stacked over top of wrists. If this sensation is giving you any pinching, walk the hands out just slightly. So shoulders are over top of our wrists. Take all 10 fingers, press them into the earth. So my fingertips are turning white just because I'm pressing so hard. My heart lifts up between my shoulder blades. And press into your right hand so much so that you start to slide over to the left. Now with the left hand, press back to the right. So creating a lot of movement here, but I'm using my hands to do it. So this should feel really good. Let all the stress flow out of your hands here. Keep breathing. So often with photographers and even, waiters or waitresses, this is a really, really good pose. And usually when we hit this point, nobody wants to stop. So if you are finding this is really good for you, you might even explore going in circles. So very gently, very mindfully, finding a little rotation here. Keeping your heart lifted. Just explore what feels good for you here. When you've gone one direction, if you're doing circles, go the other one. If you need a break, push back up, come off your hands, give yourself that rest. So we're treating ourselves kindly. And then if you haven't already, we're going to stop. Come on back. Feel the blood rush back into your hands here. Shake out your hands. And we're going to bring our knees in a little bit together. So we went one direction, and we're always looking for balance. So you probably felt that through the inside of your arm and the outside of your wrist. Now we're going to bring our hands palms facing up, and I'm bringing my hands way into my knees because this is just a more delicate position, which you've probably already noticed, and we want to be very gentle and explore. So I'm pressing my palms, my fingers into the earth, and I'm just going to slowly rock side to side. See if you can straighten your elbows, lift your heart away from your hands. And if you're like, okay, I might try walking my hands out just a little bit. So start small, grow bigger, okay? Finding what feels good. Making sure that you breathe here. And if your range of motion on this one is very different, no worries. It's not meant to be the same. And if you like going back and forth here, you might try circles. They are very different. So give yourself time, explore it. You use this time completely for you. So always giving, always thinking of others and how we can support them and get them the best memories. And time for you. It's time for you to shine. Time for you to feel good. If you haven't gone the other direction, do so. Spending a little bit of time here just because I know this one is something that Meghan she was not willing to leave for a little bit, and that is okay. That means it's something she needed. When it feels good, we'll come back to center, come back. Whew. Feel how your wrists are. Should feel pretty good. Rotate your wrists out. Notice how they feel. You might feel like you have younger hands, and if you do, yay, that's amazing. And this is something that even I will do at work. So if I can just find a desk and just be like, okay, just push back and forth a little bit. Quick little relief. Don't recommend doing it on the head table, but find a quick little table that you can kind of press your hands into. If you have a moment, just a breath, it will help you feel so good while you're working. We're going to come back into tabletop here. Notice how it feels different. So press away from the earth, lift your heart up between your shoulder blades, and straighten your elbows if you can, or as close as we can. We just practice. We come to our edge today. We're going to take the right hand all the way up, open to the right side, and then we're going to exhale, reach it in behind the left hand. So coming down to the earth here, if you have to make adjustments, go for it. So I generally walk my left hand out. I might walk my knees back, or I'll take my left arm up and over. That feels really good in the shoulders. Close your eyes. Breathe here. I promise we're not going to get ahead of you, so see where you can soften. So sometimes it's just hard to pause. If you're struggling with that, no worries. Take it inside. Notice how you feel. Take a nice big full breath and notice where the stretches are. It's not a true Yoga Moments video unless I trip over my own English. All right, bring that left hand back in front of your face. Inhale, press up. We're going to twist all the way to the right, spread your wings, and then we'll plant the right hand. Reset yourself. We're going to take the left arm all the way out to the left side. Exhale, thread it in and behind the right hand. Again, walk your right hand out. Make adjustments with your knees if you need. And then if it feels good, reach that right arm straight up. Find your breath here. Nice, big, easy breathing. So let your weight come into that left shoulder. Walk your right hand back into center or in front of your face. Press into it. We're going to open all the way to the left. And we're going to plant that left hand. Reset here. Again, if you need to take a break, come up off your wrist, go for it. Maybe you adjust your top. Who knows? Once you're ready, we're going to come back into tabletop. Find this nice long line, crown of the head reaching forward, tailbone reaches back. So we have some soft tension. Draw your navel in and up. Lift up from your pelvic floor, so you're going to feel a whole lot of internal engagement. And honestly, you have all the muscles you need in order to feel good while you're working. So trust that you have them. We're just learning to work with them. So I'm going to curl my toes. Right leg's going to slide all the way back. Reach through that heel. Find that stretch in the back of your leg. You might even rock forwards and back. Fingertips are still pressing into the mat or into the floor. Breathe here. When it feels good, I'm going to bring my shoulders back over top of my wrists. Take my right foot and slide it over behind my left. So my right foot's coming to the left side of my mat. Take a second, check that your left hip is still stacked over your left knee, and then take a peek at your right foot. So it's like you're checking your left blind spot. What you're going to feel is compression in the left side body. Nice big stretch in the right. And use your breath. So nice big full breath in. Keep sliding your hips to the right side because the tendency is to collapse to the left. So it helps us find that stretch. And on your next exhale, we'll bring it back to center. Take a second, notice how your left side and your right side feel a little different, or maybe a lot different, who knows. We'll curl our toes again, slide the left toes all the way back, and find the stretch in the left leg. So you can keep a bend in your knee if that's more comfortable. Slide forwards and back. Keep your navel and heart lifted here. And keep breathing. Alrighty, we're gonna slide those left toes over behind our right, bump our hips to the left, and take a peek over your right blind spot. So right shoulder, you should be able to see your left toes. If they don't come that far, don't worry. We're going for sensation, so you should feel that stretch in the left side body. Compression in the right. Take a nice full breath in. Just notice where your breath goes. We're gonna inhale, come back to center. From here, we're gonna come into child's pose. So send your knees out to the side, bring your toes together, and we're gonna just walk it on out here. So as far as we can. If your forehead does not come to the mat, do not worry. You can stack a fist or two fists, or grab a book, whatever you need, and bring it down here. So coming, feeling a little stretch in our hips, in our back. We're gonna take our hands, peek at the video if you need, we're gonna walk our hands out to the side of our mat. So finding a little bit of stretch here, reaching our fingers, walk them forward. So your elbows here are gonna stay nice and straight, so rotate them up towards the ceiling or the sky. Press all 10 fingers into the earth, and we're gonna pretend to try and pull ourselves forward, so shoulder blades are gonna engage. Nice straight arms. Breathe here. If you feel a little tension, a little tremor, no worries, you're doing it. All right, we'll soften our arms. We're gonna walk our hands back in front of us. Inhale, draw our navel off of our spine. Walk our knees back in. From here, we're gonna walk our hands out, come onto our tummy. So shoulders are gonna be stacked underneath elbows are gonna be stacked underneath our shoulders. If the blanket is bothering you here, feel free to toss it to the side. Our forearms are gonna be parallel railroad tracks. So bringing your legs together, we're coming into Sphinx pose. So press your elbows into the mat, press your hands into the mat, lift your heart forward. So it's a big heart opener here. Should feel a stretch in your back. If it feels sharp, calm down a little bit. Or try sliding your heart more forward. So we don't want to feel any pain. Nice big full breath here. Even if your tummy is against the floor or your mat, take a nice full breath. You'll feel your body move just with the breathing. Alrighty, on your exhale, we're gonna press into our hands, elbows come out, the forehead is gonna come all the way down. And our arms are gonna come out to our sides. So nice big T. I am gonna toss this blanket to the side. So make any adjustments you need. So we're gonna do a nice big T with our hands. And take a peek at the video if you need. I'm going to press my right hand into the earth. My right arm is straight. The left hand's gonna come in kind of like our thread the needle. We're gonna press into the left hand and just open up onto our right shoulder. So only go as far as is comfortable for you. But it should feel good to open your shoulders. I'm using my left leg kind of as a brace. Relax your head to the mat. Nothing to do but breathe here. Enjoy that stretch. Let any stress from your shoulders just kind of pour out here. We're going to exhale, bring it back to the mat. Pause when you get here. Just notice how you feel. And we're going to bring our left arm out this time. Inhale, press into the right arm. Open onto your left shoulder. So see if you can find a little bit of softness while you're here. Take one more full sweet breath on this side. We're going to exhale, bring it back to the mat. Pause when you get here. And then we're going to inhale, press up, send it back into extended child's pose. So knees come as wide as the mat, toes come together, and we're going to walk our hands forward again. So from here, send your hips back. Feel a stretch in the side body, in the lower back, and the hips. Okay, draw your navel to your spine. Lift yourself all the way up. We're going to come into tabletop, cross our legs, and then come back into a seat. So I'm just going to move here. We're going to bring our feet out. Our knees are going to be up. And we're going to bring our hands back. So give yourself a little bit of support here. Lift your heart. We're going to exhale. Legs are going to come to the left side. So both legs are at 90 and 90. We have internal rotation, external rotation. See if you can hug your knees a little bit towards the earth. And then inhale, back to center. Exhale to the right side. So again, hug your knees towards the earth. If you're not getting there, no worries. You'll feel the sensation. And you're showing up and you're putting into yourself. So that should feel pretty good. Inhale to center. Exhale. Hug your knees. Keep your heart lifted. We're almost there. Only a couple more poses for the hips and the back. We'll do one more time on each side. And if you like any of these poses, you can keep going. You can always jump in wherever we are, or you can do them on your own. We'll come back to center and bring our feet in towards each other here. So it doesn't matter how close your feet come in or how high your knees are up. It's not a big deal. Press your feet together wherever is comfortable for you. So if you feel like your hips are really pinching, walk your feet out. If you feel like it's just really hard to actually sit up properly, and properly I mean with good alignment, then sit on top of your blanket. Bring it up underneath your sit bones so that your hip flexors aren't working quite as much, because that's what's holding us up here. So if you're hanging on for dear life, it's okay, you can let go. Just bring something underneath you. We're gonna press our feet together and bring your hands to your ankles or to your feet or to your shins, wherever is good for you. We're gonna find this nice long alignment. So pelvic floor lifts in and up, navel draws in and up, heart lifts, relax your shoulders. So finding this nice position, you're gonna feel probably a little bit of engagement already in your inner thighs. We're gonna exhale, reach our pelvis forward. So try and dump the water forwards out of your pelvis. Squeeze your sit bones together. If you need to make any adjustments, go for it. But I'm really trying to make sure my heart is staying away from my pelvis and I'm tipping forward. So feeling that engagement in the inner thigh for sure. For me, I feel it right along here. You might feel it there, you might feel it somewhere close to there. Find your breath here. So use your breath, get all your money's worth out of this free YouTube video. Yep, that's right. But by that I mean just you've shown up, so get the most out of it for you. No point in just getting part of it. Take what you need here. Take what resonates. You might notice after a breath or two you kind of get a little more give, and that's totally cool. Find a little softness. We're going to exhale, come all the way up. I'm going to take my hands behind me again, walk my feet out, and just let them kind of fall in. So we did a lot of external rotation there, finding a little internal rotation. Alrighty, we're going to come onto our back. So get comfortable. Legs are going to be up towards the sky, or knees are going to be up towards the sky. Adjust your ponytail if you need. And I'm going to bring my arms out again, a nice big T shape. I'm going to let my legs fall to the left side. So hugging my knees just slightly towards the earth, taking my gaze over my right shoulder. A nice spinal twist here. And again, a spinal twist is always a great place to not actually use any effort, just use your breath. So as you take a nice full breath in, you'll probably feel that stretch. And then imagine that there's a string in the middle of your lower back that's attaching you to your yoga mat. You're going to draw your navel to your spine, let that string pull you back. So your legs will follow, I promise. And it's just a really nice way of moving from your center. So that's what's going to keep us supported as we're doing a wedding, doing any kind of photography, whether it's portraits or family stuff, professional things. Kudos to all of you for all of the hard work. I can't imagine corralling humans quite the way you guys do. We're going to let our legs fall to the right side. Take a peek over your left shoulder. So it's really wonderful to just take a moment, pause, breathe, start to feel different, start to move in a different way, in a way that feels supported to you. Because as much as we do our jobs and as much as we love them, it does take a toll on us, and it doesn't have to. So you don't want to sacrifice yourself entirely for the job to the point where you can't enjoy your own life. So on that note, nice big breath in like you love yourself, the biggest breath you've taken all day, maybe all week, maybe all of your life, who knows, and let it out. Do one more just like that. And then draw your navel to your spine. Let that string pull you back. So really using our core. We're going to bring our knees up to our chest. Give yourself a great big hug. You might rock it out side to side. You might rock it a little forwards and back, or you might stretch out your knees, massage that lower back. And then with a very satisfying thump, we're going to hug our knees in and just let go so they fall right back to the earth. And if you can't hug your knees in that far, no worries. You're going to find what works for you. It's going to feel really good. We're going to extend the right leg, extend the left leg, and then press into your head, tuck your shoulders underneath your back just slightly. So your palms will face up towards the sky. And another little chest opener here. Should feel good. If you feel tight, no worries. Find places to soften. Make adjustments as you need. And this is Shavasana. So this is our final pose. And I encourage you here, let everything go. Let your body soften right into the mat. Let your thoughts soften. So soften your eyes, soften your jaw, your cheeks. Take a nice sweet breath and then soften that as well. So nothing to do here. You're welcome to stay here as long as you'd like. I thank you so much for not only what you do, but for showing up for yourself. If you liked this video, if it felt good to you, comment below, let me know. Let me know where you're from and what photography you do. And I hope you enjoy this and the entire series. So I'll bring my hands up to my third eye, right between my eyebrows. From my heart to yours, Namaste.